Good morning, this is Thomas from thomasyoungauthor.com, and today is July 30th, 2026, and it's 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm recording this video, and this morning I would like to talk to you a bit more about the manosphere, which is called the gay community, and how that is organized, let's say, in the more suburban parts of this world, and what role the sex parties, the piggy parties, play in that. Because you see, these parties or these gatherings, where people basically come together in a sort of sexualized atmosphere, and a lot of drugs are being used, and more, that is methamphetamine. You know, this is the world of methamphetamine and sex. I mean, sex is almost like secondary. It's basically people coming together to do drugs together, and a lot of people do nothing else than that anymore. So they have a regular job in a week, and on the weekends they organize these parties. They help organize these parties. They go out to bars and clubs and groom other, they're basically on the hunt for other people to groom them and to make them part of that world, and because they want to have a constant flow of people they can have sex with. But as I've been telling you, this also has a darker side, because many of these people who live like that, they become so cynical that they have no problem not only of smearing people, but driving people into death, or even be accomplices in murdering people. This is the other side of that. And yesterday I talked to you a bit about, yesterday and the day before, about the piggy parties of two guys in particular, and the names are Tom and Berto, and they live in a place 20 miles away from here. I think it's called Sittard, and they are basically, you can call them the Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell of this area. They know a lot of people, and a lot of people frequent their house. And I also know they have something to do with the wider network, the supporting network of the sex and drugs world, the HIV doctors and their supporting staff. I mean, my intuition tells me that they work together. I mean, they see me and they see them, and they must know what's going on, because everybody, they want their information. They talk to them about what parties they attend, what drugs they use, who they have sex with, so they must at least be aware of what goes on. And in my presence they also displayed some really weird behaviors, and in that hospital I went, I mean, I know they also played a role in smearing me together with that psychiatrist, with other doctors. There were a lot of things going on, but you can never put your finger on exactly what happened, because it's all secretive and I'm not there. But I notice all these strange things that are happening around me, and I can fill a lot of footage with that. But I think you know what I mean. You see, but these sex parties, these Tom and Berto guy organized, there is now even a network of sex parties, and here in the Netherlands they are active on a website called Bullchat, and that's where they also recruit people, and that's where they hang out, where the criminals hang out, and these two are very active on that. And there, they share pictures. I even have them, where they go to Berlin and stuff like that, because that is now the Vatican of that world. That's where they get all their inspiration from, because they are involved in this larger network of sex parties and drugs, methamphetamine, stuff like that, the larger criminal network. So that's why they also feel so safe. Because I told you, that there were people coming to my house threatening me that are also closely linked to them. And one time they came to my house and inflicted burn wounds on me and stuff like that. I mean, at the end it was a little spooky. I mean, it was a little spooky experience. Just as I went to their house like more than 20 years ago, he was basically sitting outside on my balcony. I mean, this Tom guy, this is how secure they feel, and the message was, we own you, we know everything you do, because these people are constantly informed about what I do, where I am, and I also know the people that inform them, not directly, but through other people. You know, I told you yesterday about this guy who, who contacted me through Grindr and acted as if he didn't know who I was. And you know, I know a person I encounter here on a woman actually, who provides them information about me, and then that information is passed on to the Piggy party. You know, and this woman does her utmost best to make it clear to me that she does not gossip, and you find out she does, and then it's not that hard. And lately she's been showing off a lot of, you know, bling bling and new shiny stuff she bought, so I wonder why that is. You see, when I talked to the LGBTQ officer here of the town, I asked him, you see, listen, you know, you are gay, you know there's a lot of crime going on in that world, and is that ever investigated? And then his answer was, yeah, there's a lot of sex going on at, I don't know, parking lots, and a lot of bisexual men are beaten up there. I think that answer tells you enough. I mean, what he was basically admitting, he gave me that answer several times because I kept on asking, and, you know, the rainbow flags protects the gay criminals. These people are not investigated. I mean, and the criminal intelligence of the police must at least know what's going on, but they choose not. These people are protected, basically, by the police. I mean, and they do the most, you know, horrendous things. You know, the guy I've been telling you about yesterday, who goes to these, who contacted me through Grindr. I mean, he basically told me, I mean, from the things he told me on that Grindr app, what he does is he goes to these LGBTQ parties here, and he's on the lookout. You know, he is one of the groomers. He's one of the people who bring them to the Piggy parties, who says who is fit for that and who's not, who can we use for prostitution. Or, you know, these people, this is not considered normal behavior in the gay community. So whenever you see these gay activists, these so-called gay activists on the pride parades, when they talk about being your authentic selves and talking about gay people having this different morality and therefore they need to be protected from homophobia, because they consider it homophobia if you are judgmental of that. If you say, no, I don't think it's okay to groom younger guys into, you know, attending sex parties. That's not okay. No, well, they can say, well, listen, we are gays. We have a different morality. That is perfectly fine in our world. So if you attend a pride parade and if you do that, always remember that what you are defending are these kind of things. You're basically defending this kind of criminal activity. And again, it is not that you say, oh, there are all these good gay people and there are only a few bad apples. No, this is a criminal world through and through. And then there are, so yesterday, I mean, I encountered another guy. He works in a shopping mall at an electronics store here in the town, and he really gets nervous around me because I sometimes encounter him on the train station when he's on his way to the Piggy party. So now he knows, I know he goes to the Piggy party. So now he's very, very nervous because, you know, from all the people he goes to the Piggy parties, he was best at keeping sort of a poker face, but you know, you can tell even from him, and you could tell when I saw him yesterday at the shopping mall. You could tell. I mean, he was still recovering from a weekend of sex and methamphetamine use, and he is enmeshed in that world. And I want to urge him, you know, to go to the police and tell them what they know and what was being talked about me and what other criminal behavior goes on there, because, you know, at some point you will have to come clean. And I know, because these people are afraid, because if they even dare to talk about it or expose themselves or expose others, you know, they will get the same treatment that they've been giving me for the past 10 years for basically no reason. I mean, at the train station there is also around that train station they built this hideous complex of buildings and with apartments, and in those apartments at the train station there lives another couple who I've been told also engage in a lot of, you know, Piggy parties. There's a lot of Piggy parties going on at that apartment complex. And the funny thing about them is that they played also, and I don't even know their names. I still don't know their names, but I know they were very vital in smearing me. You know, one of the couple, I mean, for a while I did a volunteering job at an art house cinema next to that building. And one of the guys was also working there. And he, you know, he tried to smear me there. I talked to him briefly, like for 5 minutes. Back then I didn't know who he was. But there he talked about me. And even though I don't know him and he doesn't know me, but we also have the same hairdresser. And he did that also at the hair salon. He was, you know, he was saying all sort of nasty stuff about me, and you know, thought it was necessary to talk about a person he doesn't know. You know, so these two played an active role in, you know, in smearing me, although they don't know me and I don't know them. But also what they also tried to do was, and that has also happened a lot here. So they let attendees of their sex party contact me and then play these games because they want to have nude pictures, so they can share them in their group chats to make fun of me. And at some point I asked a guy who came here, one of those horrible guys, and then they said, yeah, but they always let these other people talk to me. Why do they do that? Why can't they talk to me directly if they want to speak to me? Yeah, okay, they're always wasted and laying in some corner, and I mean, this is how fucked up this all is. You know, these people are horrible. And then you see one of the guys, the older guy, and then around that apartment complex at the train station, there used to be a supermarket, and there I saw him a couple of times, and then he's wearing these sort of fetish sports outfit, a purple one, and he's constantly on the phone, you know, arranging guys for the party. And I mean, and these guys don't even hide anymore. I mean, when I saw him sitting there, this is a guy who's 55. And he still displays that kind of behavior. And I've also been told that he is sort of the headmaster of a school, you know, for children. And on his online profile, he says, in organizing and living, you know, the Piggy lifestyle every weekend, having sex parties, he found his destination in life. That's his purpose in life. And I think, if that guy is the headmaster of a school, do you want such a pig as the headmaster with such values? I mean, they don't even Tom and Berto, they don't even hide it that they're pigs. They call themselves pigs. I mean, they have pig values. I mean, and they are not even ashamed of that. They don't even hide. I mean, it is unbelievable with what these people get away with now. And you can only imagine how many other people here are implicated in that, and how many other people they smear and want to drive into, you know, suicide and all that kind of stuff. Because again, I don't know these people, but I know from Berto and Tom, these people are constantly informed about me, constantly. They have been following my life like some kind of soap opera, and not just since these 10 years, but for far longer. I've been of interest to them far longer. And yeah, I think that's what's been going on. You see, you have to understand what I've been telling you many times. The gay world is in many ways just as disgusting as the manosphere that is now being flaunted at you in the mainstream media. These guys are just as cynical, violent, misogynistic. They are also killers. And that is something, because if you encounter them, or they're just guys, you know, who have this gay guys, you know, gay guys are like that. They're obsessed with sex and drugs, and that's fine. No, there is much more going on. And I think soon I will also, if nothing much happens, if people don't choose to go to the police, I will expose them, you know, because something must happen, and I want to see those guys in prison. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye.